lights, all behind forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply. Or simply, 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 dai. Un'altra vinci. It's March 28th, 34, also 3 days. It depends where. 3-4 days to the end of this March 6, 2026. It's a Saturday neighbors today the middle sky. La pratica nel last 2 days sono famiglie del seguire l'introvare privati a management that means a sun your care deal need to do with the class of quality days cut to in fact series of the day yes the case of the day some moments is really clear some moments is totally cloudy mostly cloudy but yes it's really no it's between a little from 14 and 12 minutes 57 to find at 14 Celsius and this means it's really soft like Sibir as a fact soft classic adjective for the spring appearance supposed for SEO fact consider fact channel tan for yes June 17 fact we work on yes with reports se la passa summer se la surpass autumn and partio la surpass winter particularly winter we entered in it on December 21 and to be precise on 16:40 p.m. in Italy now it's for the spring work so all around the seasons complete in effect and practically it's complete effect work for yes with the reports about the seasons and as regards the spring as you know last 2 Friday ago on March 20th in particular in Italy on 10:01 at 10:01 a.m. as far as absolutely non mi finco poi sono un po' in cinese poi in mature attuali di una singola society sometimes more proposal in fact the population to Chinese better number of spero to me maybe the student operations of the summer the autumn the winter so the summer so it's hot for the autumn once again it's soft for the winter it's cold so it's in general for the season to be sa casi casi a riguardo di crisi this for me was something we for the absolute complaint for me I can complain at consider that yes it's yes, and then if it's spring, it's in the last 7 days or last days, last week, it's still cold, and but I don't feel cold for the fact, as perhaps you remember, no, for the fact as also during the winter period, when the reports not only easy, but also past years, I don't feel cold for the fact I follow and do some practice, so years particular to practice, which I always start very cold, and so for this I don't feel cold, I feel cold less than people, in fact I don't know for some people, I think not for the fact I feel cold, and I think yes or no, it depends on time, I think 95% I feel cold, however for me this period good, and if I repeat this still cool, instead what has got to sfiangiato, I don't know if I can see the meaning just for it's good, tutto completely, in fact can be just more from this. Ingeri di afno, finché te ne impartiscono di servizi, c'è sicuro, fissamento fare nel 14 Celsius. But l'imparting atmosphere, it's civili. Sicuro today, yeah, oh, it's beautiful. Blue skies in west shine also near my head and I'm live because in this video there is a conscious between the fact that I generate film the words the film make weather records this hour this house also fact that this video in fact when I film came out generally sunshine in this room in this city etc in this city and other things so for this you can see line this video near me but now see 3 things is sunshine sun in particular sun in general sunshine in particular first thing that I'll sing an extract better da refrain per prossimo ancora sono sulle mie blues sing speaking mi ha detto ormai io la spassame saprò noi da me per me non la spassame fica poi so manato sola più bella io sono mia santo da te o solo mia santo da te santo mio santo da te this is the second thing factor visual based on this is the second thing factor yes Secondo tense in situ rimane in una scena attuali simili in senso bene scena consenso everything as a perhaps sono meno si viti che si impossible one visually acquisito si scienza che si tem aveva essere antinato si viene video cinque parso si sono bordi in fagonse o sono alla storia del kutub na before spectatori di now let them says che porare per 4 hours and 20 minutes 25 minutes less more or less in senso more sono more because and I will be an hour more 11 just so okay it's now let them for this house okay so good my influence will get completely fed time but according to my judgment maybe on my view I also we can also system schedule but in general better say time when so series so from what routine influence when you have a mix between influence and routine system another things from also but routine particular liberty only for reason it was a best was a beautiful great routine a beautiful painter we bench to per lo vas factor best routine routine se ti mette si ridono ma come secondo section ti se ponte per fasson di fortuna quando da mesure come section non più consigliato di quella di search near beni once I went in the think yes see one flowers on the flowers between plants. Okay, I don't know, in fact, if not, even better, really better is lascia trovare per start the video which produce a should you vedere scazzo se in genere scassi come dico quindi scassi come dico questo sarà absolutamente assurdo mi dico quindi andiamo in room. However, from my perspective, also from his place, a shot similar classical shot of humanity fantastic November 2 should have been November 1, November 2022, if not, cioè humanity sicuro per il scurti di vita, bisogna dire che tiene bisogno per bench per la first routine story records che routine e finalmente non exactly easy cioè la cara routine si stealing con mi dicevano magari things the cover image channel it's the color routine sono io tam one I try to actually change it magari questo sì in this shot so related to the fact buff one reason che deve uscire non so ma but more is so yeah effect is measure non si vede little speech or sentence so in case per questo curtiamo viti curtiamo viti quante bench adesso non sono in case per questo ste so le parti curtiamo sì che abbiamo exactly this now also in case se avrei detto sono in curtiamo so le altre viti che special also in case perfect times e so le little speech or sentence is but also always better visible for me in its entirety quindi se shot ti si può insigniti con leggendary shot. Ripetere uscito in ottimismo perché così l'ottimismo è stato sotto ben sport per partita sul stesso ottimismo la nostra di spiccio senza si per l'ottimismo spirito sul sovale lo spirito servito once in but also always better visible for me in its entirety quindi si shot si quanti minuti per genere shot and finally mi configura ci siamo porti PG si così fa forse io mio genere shot senza più piccolo solo una ricetta perché i filmi già tutti forti possono magari possono essere of the great legendary mythical Michael Hunter also known as you know to me Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department Harry Truman the contrary because as you know the one the same thing the same person and other things 3 days ago I uploaded my first version of the track interpretation of the track Josie and Truman from the Pix Season 2 because dedicated in fact it to the easy hit birthday last July 24 in fact, but for the fact that people it for the sequel also dedicated it to Master in Super Man's birthday last Sunday, March 22, turn 89 years, Smith there to his 79th birthday, and also Mr. Luci's birthday, già last July 10th, 4 days before my Colontic, so Mr. Case was as much as I think he said that birthday, so dedicated to these 3 persons, in case you find the video, anche buona chance, latest video, I guess it's last video, però so in the case you see the combination, I guess using these shots in this new shot to you can see the actual condition, we could have better actual condition since December 7, 2024. In fact, since the 3D practice is a similar problem, the fact that there is a main problem effect is not light on the display, also the problem is that another problem that main problem is effect is not light on the display, and as soon as I made a fix it. Getting all the people of original was a good thing to learn. Somebody my sister. Also do myself, but also this case. And finally, I hope you all learn. It's really late in general, also nice. When I say late in information, it's really interesting to understand the fact that the question this time. It's late in general for the people, but also for my record, not totally for my as soon as kind of stuff also mine make a breakfast. But it's in the winter period, in particular between December and January, less since February, less in particular since this month delivery. So praticamente the spring until the next December and January. At the same time, but all imports that testify for the level ci sono i titoli in fact max internet si mette servito per l'inchimien cattifiante in parte mette attivo su diversi esteri si mette tre ore di sera che sono tri su straccio quattro ripeto quattro di cose di carriera e tu lì cose di carriera lì tu sono si mi vanno more not the yesterday just before that is just only obviously just in quota 14 and 12 but you think you should non ne si attenzione a me non si porta un so Io questo sì. Ecco fa sono molto business absolutely. Значит, since 3.5 morning, yes, should be more than one from his yes, I also lost the course in English, peccato da squeak about breakfast, also the resort on Friday, as I got the resort, the new resort, the 6 resort, the visual black, dark, dark blue and white for the girls term is mean first one was blue white in that is case light blue and white in the final aspects first one is a story report yes regarding the time I think I've been using it in week of about 16-55 users should be 16 per ago all things that perhaps if you follow me on Facebook but I think boy I think the boy was no one which I need any other news or weather report oh yes this should be done video but I wish you to one day or one time so any time ci preso better visit to them so using with speech I should review on Friday yes this should be yes for the shots obviously non si gioca per talk about more than 1 year siamo solo per usare biscuits per me effettiva per me beautiful combos with beautiful biscuits and CS I think that one of the best kind of types of chocolate chip cookies or the cookies the chip chocolate chip and if I'm not mistaken it's fatto biscuits e meat but in particular I think that really would say red and easy that's why about milk pack to shots not even to go from but also short in fact ci puoi notare se non shot fragmenti video se shot in fast I think 10 months I think about 10 months also lo sto conto single peccato va adesso lo sto conto single so che should be easy like down the beer so anytime ci questo better yes and see there was one is quick to finish now there's one say brought it one say I think 3 anni 11 12 pratica days result for some diseases month I mentioned before repeat should be the months also in case lo sto conto should be used at the time of beer so anytime ci penso better and so since that amount of 3 about exert it once again milk so per il news è un inizio second breakfast always above sa video particolare last video in particolare mega bomb means also in case last video it's a joke I talk about tomorrow morning so because I'm referring to first time so that video e pensavo non sono se tu la cosa breakfast always a mega bomb second thing is about serious fact non farebbe lo stesso altro core and then serious quindi sarà sempre in position segue di gamma di position but you know sempre in position cosa dovesse più position mi dalle bambole chocolate pieces e quella cosa I trovo come tu because they are really super bravo Adesso ma ora questo per un tempo, perché non ti muovo tu. Ma vuoi sì. This also I kiss it, and this is the second thing I said, better, the third thing I said, the first moment I should do the weather, my son, with the sun weather reports, and also the second I said at the end, perché si possono vedere che si scende su visit, and also petit, because this is sublime, che si scende su sublime, nel senso di sublime. Adesso, tomorrow is supposed to be if I can't tomorrow to lepe. I will see. Repeat, but no, I say two things. Yes, I repeat two things for last time. In fact, two things just before. No, I say two things for last time. The first thing that the second I said before. In fact, se c'è tu consider that no that's really level in near enemy. Not is beautiful. Need that supply such a content. The second thing it was the third I said just before. In fact, as a person service in case it's impossible to build their keys to kiss a chain, not to kiss a chain, so kiss it once again. And also petit. Really sublime the content sense.